inaugural Michelangelo panel here at Wallaceburg 2024. And we are thrilled to have three people who brought Michelangelo to life in the third Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie that came out on March 19th, 1993. Right here we have Shishir, who did the amazing martial arts for Michelangelo. And then we have Gord, who did the puppeteering. He did all the facial expressions. So if there's any Mikey expressions that you really like when he's going, Clint Eastwood? Nah. Hey, Butch, don't you know Westerns are dead? This is the guy who controlled that facial movement. But, of course, we cannot have Mikey full without the body movements. And you gave him so much expressions. Thank you, David.
Oh, yeah. My pleasure.
These guys made Mikey who he is. It's sad that we could not have Robbie Rist here, too, because he is the voice. But every single person who worked on those movies brought these characters to life. And these guys played such an amazing, sweating, hard part of the film.
He did the sweating.
Both of these guys did.
Yeah,
He was in
yeah.
that suit, too.
I sweat. I hear you, man. Sweat.
Yeah!
You sweat.
It's all to the sweat. So, I would like to give a moment for each to introduce how they got into their position in the movie and what inspired them to be in that role of entertainment. If you could start, Shishir?
Start with me.
Yeah, I'm starting with you.
That's why I have my book. The man behind the show. Everybody asks me, how did you become Michelangelo? So I said, you know what? I gotta start writing this. I don't have to keep repeating it. But I love repeating it to everyone because it's an inspiration. You know, I started as a choreographer for different film and television as a stunt choreographer, fight director. I do doubling from 21 Jump Street to MacGyver to, hey, do you know that I doubled Jessica Alba? So many things. I actually went to Hollywood because I thought, hey, I'm going to make it in Hollywood. But when I got there, in 7 months, I got 2 jobs. In one job, I have seven work in one pay. And the other one, I was a monkey. I left Hollywood, come back to British Columbia because at the time, there's the Hollywood North moving to Vancouver. So, but I already kind of left my dream out because I thought I'm brown, I'm small, I'm not chance in Hollywood. But then the Turtle called up and they said, hey, you're gonna come here and do your audition. My son, Turtle 3 is here. I don't believe that I'm gonna be in the audition event of Ninja Turtle, which is a huge show. Because I've been to all kinds of auditions, never get a job. That's why. But in my mind, I said, maybe it's true. And my friend, who is actually called me, said, yeah, this is true. In fact, Raymond Chow was there, one of the producer, and he said, he's asking for you. I said, for me? And apparently, of course, Ernie Reyes, I used to double him. He was the Kino already in the second Turtle. So I have some good backup there that I can deliver. I'm short. I don't know yet how to do gymnastics. I just do martial arts. And then so I went to the audition and I failed that audition. But a week later they called me back, Pat Johnson, who is the coordinator, and said, Shishir, what happened? I said, so many excuses. Okay, I give you 1 week. You come back and then you will get you an audition. In that 1 week, I killed myself, trying to do backflip. I'm swollen all over the place. And the 7th day, I am dead. I cannot move. But with my spirit, because the whole town is talking about Shishir is going to be Michelangelo, even my son who was wearing Michelangelo shorts. Dad, do not come home unless you become Michelangelo. I said, oh my God. So anyway, that's where I learned to pray. I learned to meditate, that everything happens for a reason. So I went there, I am really sick. I just talked to God. I said, God, give me 20 minutes only, please. So that's where my story. You know, since then, you know what? I was able to do backflip right there in the audition. Don't ask me now to do a backflip. It's getting shorter. I'm 70 years old now. So since then, it opened doors for me, and I have now different projects. I have a kids program in my ancestral land in the Philippines, and then here I have my. I just finished a 13 TV show, 13 series of Arnis, which is the nunchuck of the Philippines, but there's no chain. So I'm trying to bring that to sports of Canada to be a sport, because in Philippines, the national sport is basketball and beauty pageant. So, you know, trying to do something good to the community. And my new project is I'm working with kids, you know, because, you know, kids needs a lot of help. And Michelangelo, thank you. I'm able to, you know, say something and they listen. So thank you very much. That's basically how I become Michelangelo. There's the book. I'm trying to make it a movie because it's an inspiration. Believe in yourself. That's basically my lesson is gotta believe in yourself.
That's fantastic. I totally agree with you on that.
Cowabunga.
Cowabunga! Gord, how did you get into puppeteering? And I heard a little bit of that earlier, and I'm so interested in your story.
Well, I started out, I wanted to be an actor, but while I was at acting school, I didn't make the cut for second year, but I had discovered masks, and so then I got hired by the Muppets to work inside a big monster costume because of my mask work. And they actually, I think, recommended me for the Turtles because of puppetry work, mask work, and animatronic work, because David was in the suit, and then the head had all of these animatronic features in it that I would puppeteer. So, yeah, I went, you know, I had a good connection to the Muppets over the second movie, and then when it got the third movie got picked up, I went along and puppeteered. So that's it.
It's very fascinating how you guys are able to get the expressions to match the body language going on. That's got to be a lot of rehearsal.
It's rehearsal, it's communication, and it's, I mean, to me the most interesting thing about the animatronics was the system they had was so customizable. And I would go around to the other puppeteers and see how they had their system set up. You had so many options of how you could do stuff that every one of the puppeteers would start with like 35 different things they could do, and then they would cut it down to maybe 5 that they would do, that they would use or use in combination. So it was interesting, and it's just David and I talking and saying, hey, I'm going to do this, or hey, if you do this, then I'll be able to do this. Or David saying, what the heck are you doing? You know, so that kind of thing.
Okay. And David, how did you get into wearing the very heavy suits?
Well, I'm an actor, so this was a gig that came along, audition that came along. They were looking to recast all the Turtles because they were, Shishir even mentioned this, they were moving production north from the States up to Canada. They needed to hire some Canadians because that's how our union will allow American productions to come north, but they have to hire some Canadians. So they already had one, but they needed to redo some of the casting for the Turtles. So myself and Matt, who plays Raphael, we were both cast because we're the right height, and the right age, and the right energy. And so we got cast, and then the production didn't go in Vancouver. I really don't know the story behind that, but it ended up moving down to Oregon, and they grabbed 2 more. They grabbed Mark Casso from the second movie to be in number 3, and then they auditioned and hired Jim Raposa. So that's how we all got together as a team. I was auditioned mainly because I was the right height, right age, I had gymnastics background, and I was Canadian. And so that's how I did it. So I got in.
Was it your first costume gig to wear something that heavy?
Yeah, I think it was. I hadn't done any real heavy bodysuit work before that, and I didn't do a whole lot afterwards either. So it's a pretty small segment of my life that I actually did that stuff.
Now, each of you knew of Ninja Turtles before having the part, right? How did you first hear of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Starting with you, Shishir.
Well, I doubled Ernie in a MacGyver show, and at the time, but I never thought I'm going to be a turtle.
Right.
And there was, I think, Nick, who was in the second turtle, broke his leg.
Yes, when they fell from the net.
Yeah.
Both Stephen Hull, Larry Lamb, and Nick were all ninjas when that net fell.
They searched for Michelangelo, and there you are.
Well, yeah?
It's a fluke. But I don't believe in accident. I meant to be who I am.
So you learned of turtles through Ernie then, huh?
It's good to have a good company.
Ernie is excellent company. I agree with that. Gord, how did you first hear of
I
Ninja
think
Turtles?
I first heard of it because of the first movie and the connection through the Muppet grapevine. Anything puppet related or mask related, especially in the puppetry community, gets around pretty quickly. And it was animatronics, which at that time was pretty new. So yeah, I'm interested just because of that, and interested to see. I had started out on a show called Fraggle Rock, and that had a very basic animatronic in it. So I was inside the bodysuit, and then Jerry Nelson, great Muppet performer since passed, God bless him. He did the voice and the eye blink remotely. Maybe it didn't have an eye blink.
I think you did.
I can't remember now. Anyways, so really interested in the animatronics because of that. And like I remember being in the suit for the first time of this character Pa Gord, and putting the head on and doing something, and then watching it back and just being amazed at how Jerry was able to complement what I was doing and how the whole thing came to life. Because when you're inside the suit, speak for these guys, they haven't said a word about it. It's hot. You can't breathe. You can't see.
You cannot hear.
You can't hear.
Sweat burns your eyes.
Sweat burns your eyes, and you don't really know how it looks. And then you see it. My experience has been, and then I see it and I go, holy mother of goodness. This guy's Jerry's a genius. He's making me look like $1 million. So that's a sort of meandering way of saying that. So Turtles was really interesting because there was more expression to the face. You had your eyebrows. You could do more with the mouth instead of just a flap. So yeah.
And that the what they did with the technology for the first and second
Yeah.
movie, leading on to so many films and
Yeah.
TV shows since, has just been mind blowing.
Yeah.
Now, of course, David.
So what was the question again?
The question is, how did you first hear of Ninja
Right.
Turtles?
No, I'm kidding. I knew of the show, of the movies, the first two movies, but I hadn't seen them. I was not familiar with them. But once I was about to audition for it, I made sure I watched the first movie and watched Michelangelo because that's what I wanted. I wasn't being auditioned for a specific turtle at that time, but I focused on his movements, his sort of demeanor, and when I went in to do the audition, I went and bought myself just a cheap Halloween mask, turtle mask, and did the audition that way with the thought of playing Michelangelo, and it worked out because that was the one that I was ended up getting cast in. So I knew of them. They were very popular, very famous at that time, but I hadn't seen it until I got the audition. And I did my research, and I figured out how to play it.
That is great.
Yeah.
I love that you actually went in hoping for Mikey. It sounds
Absolutely.
like both of you guys went in for that hope.
Well, they
So-
were looking for Mikey
Yes.
in my part anyway, because I have to do the kicking and do the moving. and Nick already broke his leg. So I said, I hope I don't broke mine.
Yeah, don't want anyone else hurt doing films, but
No.
it happens, sadly. Now, before I ask the next question, I'd like you guys to think of some questions for after they answer this roll of questions, so that we can get some audience interaction here on something you may want to know about the third Ninja Turtle movie and portraying a turtle. And the question could be for all of them, or it could be for one of them, okay? So the next question is something that a lot of fans are always curious about. Do you have a personal favorite moment on the set? A blooper, a scene that really stands out to you to this day? Something that you cherish in your memory from the days of filming?
Well, I thought I was a Superman. I keep falling backwards in that horse. Finally said, get the Shishir out of there. Let's put someone there. He might get hurt. Not only that, of course, he goes to every time there's danger, get Shishir out of there. I am so brave. I thought I can do it, and I almost pass out.
Oh,
In that suit, it's so hot, you don't see it. And just take one, take two. I think I'm take 10 already. But I thought I am, I'm gung-ho and really. But yeah, you can really overextend yourself.
yeah, I can see that. Gord, do you have any favorite moments on the set?
There's two, but I can't remember exactly where they were. There was one, and I think it was you with the lampshade.
Oh,
And I said something to you like, I can't remember. I gave you a stage direction of do this, and you were like, you said to me, what? And I said, just trust me, just do it. And you kind of like you were talking back like, what? Are you okay? And he said okay in that way, like, okay, you're out of your mind, but whatever. I'm too tired to fight you. And then we did it, and they took the heads off, and we watched playback, and David just kind of went, okay. I got it. And then there was another one, I think it was your idea, that you were, I forget where it was, but you were pacing back and forth, and you said,
I'm gonna crack my neck.
I'm gonna crack my
I know
neck.
the moment, yeah.
And so I just was ready for it. I don't even know if I did much for it. And the best part was when I saw the final cut, they threw in a sound effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All it was David just kind of just a really small. You'd just been hit. She just hit you over the head.
Well, I woke up from being unconscious in that little
Yeah.
shed.
Yeah.
And I got up and I'm looking around and I realized I had a kink in my neck and I was crack.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember telling you
But that was, I mean, moments like that I love
Yeah.
because they are totally unscripted.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was you and I or your sister and I were talking about AI and CGI. And as powerful as they are, as great as they are, and they have their place, the thing that I would miss is those kind of on the spur creative moments where one of the actors said, oh, wait, I got an idea. Let's do this. He's like, yeah, let's do it. And they add, it's not a plot point, but it adds a little depth. It adds a little depth to the reality of what's going on.
I know both scenes that you're talking about, and it's so fascinating to hear this behind the scenes look back into those scenes. I know a lot of the script was originally changed because I have a first draft of the script. And a lot of Michelangelo's lines ended up being given to Raph because they felt he was too snippy. Because Mikey got a little bit of a backbone there. He wanted to be with Miss Dude. And Leo was getting after him. And he goes, thanks for pointing that out, Leo. That explains the large shell on my back. But instead it went to Raph with the full samurai outfit thing. Remember, we're turtles, not honor guards. But the script is completely different in some of the scenes. And I would have loved to see some of that done. But hearing that some of the stuff was put in by you guys is really, really cool. So, David,
Well, you took one of mine, so the neck crick one was one of my favorite moments. But the other thing was one of the first scenes I think you and I shot together was the hilltop at the shrine with Mitsu.
That was going to be my other choice.
Yeah, and that scene was beautifully done. I thought we worked so well together playing a character he'd never experienced love before. He'd never experienced what passion felt like because he was just a party dude. And he grew in that film, and he worked the sort of shucks sort of moments, and I remember that working that day with you, and I thought this is really great. That was a really wonderful day for me.
Yeah, and the thing I liked about it is that it was a quieter performance, but really strong because of that.
Yeah, and Vivian was so great to work with. She was so wonderful. Who played Mitsu? She was really good. That was a great day. That was one of my favorite moments of the movie.
That's great. Thank you guys for sharing these moments. Do you guys have any questions? We got one right away.
In the third Ninja Turtle movie, I forget what it's called, but why did they like hide it in the floor? Like why did they hide the staff?
And the scepter in the floor?
Yeah.
So why did they hide the staff scepter in the floor?
Why?
Good question.
Okay, that's because this was a sacred item and they didn't want anyone raiding their castle to be able to find it. So only the honor guards and the priests.
Why did they want you guys to go back to like?
Oh, the villagers. Why did they hide it? They wanted the turtles to fight, not their warriors.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what the grandfather even says. It wasn't Mistu, it was me. I want you to fight, not Mistu.
And they called us Kappa, which is
Yep.
God or something, right?
Kappa is a turtle demon.
A turtle
This
demon.
is, and they
But
like cucumbers.
There was a power in that. They thought that we were powerful.
I also have. Which one's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie?
Yeah, like your guys's.
Gosh, if anybody has their first favorite movie.
It would be Turtles 3. Just because I worked on it.
Yeah.
You also worked on turtles too.
Do you mean of all time or of the three movies? Do you mean of the three turtle movies or of all time?
Do you mean of all movies?
I mean like all time.
Of all time? Okay, I'm gonna go with Raging Bull, which is a Robert De Niro film.
I'm going to go
Never heard
with Being There. Peter
Peter
Sellers.
Sellers.
I made and produced my own film. I love that. Nobody knows about it, but I know it.
Your family knows about it.
Mine's the second.
Ernie Reyes and me, we did a show together.
Oh,
We did
awesome.
the show. Yeah, it's
Any
called The
other-
Process of the Night.
Any other questions from the crowd? Okay, we got one more up here.
In the third movie, did you voice act, or did you actually have to wear the suit while doing martial arts? This is like a question
Okay.
for acting.
So none of us were the okay. Are we the voice actors? None of us did the voice. That was Robbie Riss.
Yes, Robbie came in after the film was produced, filmed and everything, and edited. And then he was only there for like 3 to 4 days, going in doing the voiceovers for each of the movies, and that's how it happened for all 3 movies.
Yeah, you did my guy. Yeah, you did the lines on set.
Yep.
You did.
The voice actors always, for the Turtle movies, came in at the end, to the point where the first movie, Judith Hogue did not know that the voices were going to be replaced with the turtles, and she was used to what she was hearing on the set, that when she went and saw the movie, it threw her off that Raph was the only one with the same voice that she knew. Because Josh Page got to voice Raph in that and wear the suit. It's the only turtle that's ever been able to do both.
So did we answer your question?
But to add to it, so like so they had to, someone had to like act, while the other person came into voice act.
So one person acts, that's
me.
David
That's
inside
me.
the suit. I did the head and the mouth, what we call lip sync. And so I did the lines on set. And then all the martial arts were done by Master Shishir. And then later, they go into a sound booth and the voice actor replaces my voice. So 4 people to create one character.
A good way of describing the voiceover is if anyone watches Japanese anime and know that it's originally recorded in Japanese, right? then a voice actor comes in and dubs over. That's what Robbie did.
Which is what I do for cinemas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Okay.
So I have actually individual questions for each one of them. So I'll start with Master Shishir. So how was the learning curve from going from a niece to the nunchuck for the movie? I know some of the kids ask me, and I'm like, he's the guy to ask.
I keep telling everybody, and that's why I carry, promote the stick artist stick now, because not only I feel, but this is true. In the Philippines, there's no nunchuck. You know, there's a use for padded stick, but it was just a stick, that you use. So for me, I'm Michelangelo, and I'm promoting Filipino martial art. I said, I got to say that this is like nunchuck of Michelangelo, and I actually showed that to the producer, because we were gonna do the trisection. Michelangelo was gonna have a trisection, and I actually did it. We even flew someone from China, from Hong Kong or China to do it, but they never use it in the film. But me, I am always carrying my screamer, because I'm trying to say, can we? But no, they gotta stick with nunchuck.
Yeah. I have a question for Shishir. How was it working the martial arts, and especially things like
3 fingers. Oh my God.
3 fingers in an inch and an inch thick of latex?
What they did when they finally hired me, they had to send me a shell, and then 3 finger and a head, and I have to train with that for 6 months. So, they pay me good money. So I cannot even do it. But of course, you try and you see you see in the film, it happened. Oh, that's movie magic.
Yeah.
Speaking of movie magic, I know one of the things is that a lot of the filming of stunts was never done at the same time as the acting. Was there times where you guys were on the set together, to where standing on and off for each other?
Lunch hour.
You're in lunch hour?
Yeah, we have two units.
Yeah.
Actually, I was with Shishir a couple of times, because Michelangelo would get separated from the other turtles. So we would shoot sometimes the same scene, like the scene of the horse and by the tree. We were on set together for that, and they would use different shots for the different turtles for different shots. That didn't happen very often.
Yeah, that's why I was curious if it did happen for you guys. 'Cause I know it's very unique for the fans to get to see you guys together at all at events and stuff like right now. This is a very rare opportunity to meet 3 of them at once for you guys. Getting photos and autographs while they're all together. This is rare, and I highly encourage going up and talking to them at the table as well. If you've not done that yet, make sure to say hi. But
Andrew, did you have more questions?
Yeah, I actually had a question. So for Gord, did you have a most challenging moment for puppeteering? Because I know you've done a lot of different type of puppeteering, because you've been Chucky in the newest TV show, you've done Michelangelo of the face. So has been one that's been the most challenging for you in your career of puppeteering?
Generally, it's funny you asked that, because a gentleman came up and asked about a show called Puppets Who Kill.
Oh, okay.
And which nobody knows about. I mean, it was shot on the Comedy Network.
Okay.
And I played this character called Bill, which is a ventriloquist dummy. And they had an actual ventriloquist dummy. So it's kind of like a broom handle with all of these levers on it that move the features of the face. One of the problems was, so that's hard enough on its own, because it's like figuring out what does what, and sometimes it's 2 levers together. And even though I'm a puppeteer, I'm wildly uncoordinated. I know it's not a good combo. But then what made it more difficult is it was set up so that the puppet, the ventriloquist puppet, sits on the puppeteer's knee. But I was always lying on the ground underneath it, so that the body mechanics are completely wrong. So one of the things I had to do is I taped a piece of like a metal bar on, because it was an actual antique. I couldn't permanently alter it. So I taped a metal bar onto the broomstick handle, and I would hang it off of my finger. That was the only way I could hold on to it and do this, do all of the finger movements. So that was really, really challenging. And for about 3 or 4 months after, these 2 fingers were numb.
Oh, I couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, because of the constant pressure. Almost nerve, not quite nerve damage, but pressure on the nerve. But really fun puppet to do, really challenging to do, to figure this out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one of the more challenging ones. Thank you.
You're welcome. And David, the question I had for you was actually from a karate student of mine. They couldn't be here today, but they know you voice a numerous amount of people from Sailor Moon. Did you have a favorite voice from Sailor Moon that that was a super, yeah.
I love that character, and I really got lucky to be able to play that character. Yeah, my favorite.
And the follow-up question to that, would you prefer voice acting or on-set acting?
Okay, that's really hard. I love them both, and my preference is to do both. But if I had to only do one, I'd be on set. I prefer being on set, but only just marginally. I love doing voice acting.
Yeah, I love being on set too.
I think I'm good with questions. Does anyone else have questions?
Any more questions? Okay.
Feel free.
Which one is Master Shishir?
With the big turtle head.
I have 2 questions. What was your favorite Ninja Turtle weapon that you've learned, and how long have you been acting as Mikey?
Mikey since 92. Actually, 92 because the audition also is at that time. And then they released it 93 already.
Yep.
So I've been pretty much a turtle forever because I'm still doing turtle now. So, and favorite, of course, the weapon. I promote Filipino martial arts just because I feel that Filipinos don't have much contribution to humanity, and this stick is being used now all over the world. Our Cali Springs, So I thought, okay, let me take this to the Olympics. So that's one of my goals now. Yes.
I have a question.
Okay.
Are they gonna do a Ninja Turtle #4? Yeah.
They've already made a whole new series with.
Yeah, but are they gonna continue that series?
Yes.
Shredder.
Well, there's Shredder in all the others, most of the other series, but
Shredder's the big bad guy in the first 3.
well, in the first 2, Shredder's not in the 3rd movie.
Oh yeah.
But you'll find, you know what? Another way to answer that question is that this particular 3 series was done with a certain look, a certain aesthetic, a certain way they made the characters. So that generation is gone. They won't make another one of those, probably not. But there will be new incarnations of it. There'll be, somebody will come along and reinvent it, and it'll look slightly different, and they'll point it as a different way. So the series or the franchise may go on, but it'll be a different incarnate. It'll look different.
So are they planning on making a new kind of movie series?
We have a new series right now on Paramount Plus called Mutant Mayhem. The new ones are based on stories. Yeah, that's
It only has one movie, I think.
one movie and a TV series on Paramount Plus. So they got 12 episodes on Paramount Plus right now. But something that most people don't realize is that the 2007 movie made themselves a continuation of their movie. So there is a 4th movie, which is why sometimes it's sold as a 4-pack. If you watch the very end of that movie, there is the trophy shelf. And then if you look at the trophy shelf, you'll see the ooze canister, you'll see Shredder's helmet, and you'll even see the samurai uniforms from the 3rd movie, and the scepter. So that's all in the 2007 movie, which is the film I worked on.
Wow.
So yes, that is kind of connected to their realm, but there are millions of fans who wish these movies could continue.
I really like the 2nd movie. The 2nd movie's my favorite.
I love all 3. Oh!
Hurt our feelings.
The third one's
I'm used to it.
Yeah.
I like the third one too. It's like my second favorite.
Good man.
So, my next question for each of you is, did you have a favorite set to work on for the Ninja Turtle movies?
I love the palace and the village.
The village was the best. Yeah.
I'll say village too.
Where was the village located?
Side of a mountain in Oregon.
Yeah, yeah, basically.
Over near Astoria?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, small little town.
Was the buildings all built up for the turtles, or was
Yes.
that? Oh,
No,
so
that
it's
was
probably not there now.
I have it here. I have it here.
Oh, that is cool.
That's the village of Japan. It says Astoria.
Oh, okay. So, okay, we're going to wrap this up. So, thank you guys for joining us,
Pleasure.
and
Yeah.
don't forget we have everyone at the table for until the end of the con. So go up and say hi if you got more questions.
Yeah,
and,
bring them to the table.
Yeah, bring them to the table, and we'll all talk to you guys up there. Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Enjoy the rest of Wallaceburg Comic Con.
Yay.
Yay!
Thank you, Andrew, for putting this
Yeah,
together.
yeah.